Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
The governor of South Dakota has now signed into law a bill that will have a devastating effect on Planned Parenthood. They're up in arms, but it is a pro-life bill, one that should be replicated across the country. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Shawn Akers, the dean of the Helm School of Government at Liberty University. Shawn, this is a great law that just went into effect in South Dakota, signed by the governor. And it requires women who are seeking an abortion to wait 72 hours before they have the abortion. In addition, these women are also required to meet with a licensed physician and one of the registered pregnancy help centers in order to receive information and counseling prior to the abortion. It represents one of the longest waiting periods in any state in the nation. And I think, obviously, Planned Parenthood is going to challenge this, but this could be a direct challenge to Roe versus Wade at the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah, it really could, Matt. And the thing about it is it really exposes a lot about the heart behind what's going on here. Why in the world would Planned Parenthood have any problem at all with giving folks time to think about what they're doing? Well, we all know why. It's the same reason that used car salesmen want you to sign really, really quick before you take the car to the mechanic, because you may find out something, you may discover something, you may have time to actually think about it and come to a different conclusion instead of making a very emotional decision that's going to affect you, in this case, the rest of your life. And all that these legislators have done here is said, wait a minute, we need to give these young ladies 72 hours to think about this and really understand the decision that they've made. Now, why Planned Parenthood would have a problem with that, Matt, is beyond me.
Well, because Planned Parenthood is not interested in the well-being of women. I mean, they really are focused on abortion. If they were interested in the well-being of women, they would promote informed consent laws. I mean, you have to get informed consent on any other surgical procedure. In fact, there was one of the pro-abortion legislators several years ago in Florida. She was the proponent of the informed consent on breast cancer surgery, which obviously you'd want to have all the risk and benefits and some of the alternatives before you went through that or any other surgery. But when it came to giving people information before an abortion, she opposed it. What's the difference? Why would you be opposed to giving information to someone? Why would you be opposed to having someone wait just a little while before they go through the surgery, since it's not an emergency? Well, it's because they don't want you to know what the facts are. They don't want you to choose life. They are radically devoted to a death camp mentality.
That's exactly right, Matt. You know, it's kind of funny. Any of us who have had even the most minor medical procedure in the world know that the doctor, for fear of litigation, is obligated. They will walk in and roll out a list of possible problems that could come, and these are all the things that they have to tell you before they're comfortable that they've gotten your informed consent to do anything. You can't have a hangnail removed without that. But in this one little slice of this twisted medical practice, it gets an exemption on this. They don't do that there. They do just the opposite. They run you through, and as you said, the real reason is that Planned Parenthood is not concerned about the well-being of the mother. They're concerned about pushing their political agenda, which requires the taking of unborn life.
Well, in South Dakota, there are no abortion doctors that practice in that state. They fly in once a week from other states. There is one abortion clinic, and that is in the Sioux Falls areas, operated by Planned Parenthood. And these doctors come in once a week. They do not have a relationship with these individuals. They do not counsel them. They do not see them. They show up for the abortion, and they leave as soon as that abortion is done. And in fact, there's one testimony, not only just in South Dakota, this happens all around the country, that is actually part of a public record, where this one lady actually went through an abortion. She knew the doctor from a previous employment relationship, and She ultimately had the abortion. Years later, she was able to recover from the trauma of this abortion. But the doctor who was there walking into the room, they were at one time good friends, didn't even know who that person was because it didn't ask the person's name, didn't engage the person, just came in, did the abortion, left. That's how cold of an environment this is. This is not your typical doctor-patient relationship where you get a chance to see your doctor before the event and you get a chance to talk about the pros and cons of the surgery, get a chance to look at diagnostic studies and make an informed decision. This is an in and out, kill the baby, and we're gone.
You know, Matt, that tells you so much about this procedure. It's something that, as much as people try to promote it, as much as Planned Parenthood tries to promote this as a cause of liberty, everybody at their base is ashamed of it. They treat it like something that has to be done very quickly, very coldly. You have to separate yourself from it, and we all understand why. I mean, let's face it, when you're going to do something that is tragic, when you're going to do something like that, you can't allow yourself, and Planned Parenthood doesn't want to allow these young mothers to allow themselves to come to grips with what's really happening, that there is a living being, a living human being that's about to lose their little life. Requiring 72 hours before taking such an action that will affect these ladies for the rest of their living lives is not beyond the pale.
Abby Johnson was in an abortion clinic in Texas, and she was actually raised in a religious home. She was working for this abortion clinic, not realizing what abortion really was until one day this particular abortion doctor came in, and he did the abortion, looking at it while it was on ultrasound, so he could steer the cannula, the suction tube, to where the baby was and bump it up against the baby and then flip on the machine. He didn't have someone there to help him, and they're not trained nurses that are there anyway. So he asked Abby, who's like an administrator, to come in there, and so she was working and working with the ultrasound to see the picture. And she said the cannula bumped up against the little baby, and the baby jerked to get away from it. And so the doctor bumped it up against the baby again, and then he flipped on the suction machine, and the baby gets sucked into this cannula. And here's what he said: "Beam me up, Scotty." He did a joke. It's kind of like the I Dream of Jeannie, where the Jeannie gets sucked into the bottle, and she kind of gets elongated and stretched. Obviously, she didn't get ripped apart, but that's the absolute callous underbelly of the abortion industry. Abby was stunned by this. She walked out. There had been people outside praying for her and other people in that clinic. She ran over to them, and that's when she rededicated her life to the Lord, and her life has been changed. She never went back to the abortion clinic since that day. But that's the tragedy that happens every 20 seconds in America. Every 20 seconds in America, an abortion is done. 3 per minute. Every minute that ticks on the clock, 24/7, 365, there are 3 babies that have that experience that are brutally murdered through this abortion industry. And Planned Parenthood is the biggest provider in the world of abortion facilities. This law is a great step in the right direction. Another step, which has already been done in the House, needs to be done in the Senate, and that is to defund Planned Parenthood. It's insanity that we give $300 million of our money, taxpayers' money, to fund this Holocaust in America.
That's exactly right, Matt. We live in a time when you and I are we the people. We are the sovereign of the United States, and to think that this is happening under our watch, that 50 million babies have lost their lives under our watch, is something that's hard to live with. And I've seen pictures that you've shown of surgeries that took place in vitro with a little baby holding his little hand out of the womb and holding a finger. When you see that, these mothers need to be able to see that in advance. I'm glad to see this legislation in
Baby
place.
Samuel, the famous picture. In fact, the photographer who took that picture was a secularist, didn't believe in the sanctity of human life, but when he took that photograph where this little baby was being operated on in utero, where they actually cut open the uterus, they did surgery while he was in the uterus, and they sewed the uterus back together, and he was born before they sewed the surgery. Little baby Samuel stuck his hand out through that opening in the uterus and grabbed the finger of the surgeon who performed the surgery. It is a powerful, powerful picture. We have it on our website at lc.org. That changed that photographer's life. Friends, it is time that we throw off the silence. We have Lila Rose coming to the Awakening 2011. She has exposed the atrocity of Planned Parenthood. We have a panel on the abortion Holocaust and how to stop it at the Awakening 2011. Go to theawakening2011.com to sign up, become educated, stop the apathy, stand up for life. Come to the Awakening 2011, learn how to do it, and make a difference in our generation for the sanctity of life.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.